Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Slow English Podcast with me, Suni. It's so wonderful to have you here, ready to practice your English listening skills. Today, we have a really interesting topic that many of you might relate to, especially if you've ever studied or lived abroad. We're going to talk about Gen Z students on exchange programs and ask a big question. Do they experience more culture shock or do they find more unity? Let's dive in. First, let's define what we mean by culture shock. Culture shock is that feeling of disorientation you get when you're suddenly in a new country or environment. The food is different. The social rules are different. Even the way people greet each other can be surprising for generations. This has been a classic part of the exchange student experience. You leave home, you feel a bit lost, and then you slowly adapt. It's a journey of personal growth. But things are changing, and a lot of that change is because of Gen Z. Who is Gen Z? Generally, we're talking about people born between the mid-1990s and the early 2010s. This is the first generation to grow up entirely in the digital age. They've never known a world without the internet, smartphones, and social media. And this simple fact has a huge impact on how they experience the world, including culture shock. Think about it before the internet. If you went on an exchange to Japan, for example, your main sources of information were books, maybe a teacher, and then your own experiences once you arrived. You would be fully immersed. But a Gen Z student today, before they even pack their bags, they've likely watched countless YouTube vlogs about life in Tokyo. They followed Japanese influencers on Instagram and TikTok. They've probably even chatted with other students online who have been there. They arrive with a much clearer picture of what to expect. This pre-arrival knowledge can act as a buffer against some of the bigger shocks. They might already know about bowing instead of shaking hands or the etiquette for using public transport. They know what kind of food to expect and have probably seen videos of people trying it. This digital preparation reduces the element of complete surprise. So, in one sense, the intensity of traditional culture shock might be less for them. They are more prepared for the surface level differences. However, does this mean culture shock is gone? Not at all. It has just changed form. While Gen Z might be prepared for the visual and practical differences, the deeper cultural values can still be very challenging. These are the unspoken rules, the different approaches to friendship, family, work ethic, and communication styles. For instance, a student from a very direct communication culture might struggle in a country where communication is more indirect and subtle. You can't learn that from a TikTok video. This is the new frontier of culture shock for the digital generation. It's less about the what and more about the why. Now, let's flip the coin and talk about unity. Is Gen Z finding it easier to connect with people from different backgrounds? I believe the answer is a big yes. Thanks to global pop culture, online gaming, and social media trends. A teenager in Brazil and a teenager in South Korea might have more in common than you'd think. They might listen to the same K-pop bands, watch the same Netflix shows, play the same online games like Fortnite or Among Us, and even use the same slang they picked up from TikTok. This shared digital culture creates an instant bridge. When they meet in person, they already have a foundation of common interests. They can start a conversation about a viral meme, a popular artist, or a new TV series. This shared experience creates a sense of global community, a feeling of we're all in this together. This is a powerful form of unity that previous generations didn't have in quite the same way. Their shared identity is not just national, but also generational and digital. Let's consider an example. An American exchange student arrives in Spain. In the past, they might have felt very isolated, but today, they might find their Spanish classmates are also huge fans of an artist like Billie Eilish. They might spend an evening watching the latest Marvel movie together, which they have all been anticipating. These shared cultural touchstones make forming friendships much faster and easier. The cultural gap feels smaller because they are standing on common ground. But there's a potential downside to this, a risk we should consider. If everyone is consuming the same global content, are local cultures getting lost? If a student goes to Italy but spends all their free time watching American shows on Netflix and talking to their friends back home on FaceTime, are they truly experiencing Italy? It's a valid concern. The constant connection to home and global culture can sometimes become a comfortable bubble, preventing full immersion. It takes self-discipline for a student to put down their phone and engage with the local, less familiar world around them. So it's a paradox. The very tools that create unity can also be a barrier to deep cultural immersion. The key is balance. Successful exchange students of Gen Z are often the ones who know how to use technology to their advantage, using it to connect with locals and learn about their new home, not just as a way to escape back to the familiar. They use translation apps to communicate, Google Maps to explore, and social media to find local events. They use technology as a tool for connection, not isolation. Ultimately, I think Gen Z's experience is not a simple story of culture shock or unity. It's both. They experience a new, more subtle kind of culture shock related to deep values, while at the same time, they find incredible unity through a shared global digital culture. They are navigating a world that is both incredibly diverse and surprisingly connected. Perhaps the biggest lesson here is that the exchange student experience is evolving. Just like our world, Gen Z is at the forefront of this change, showing us how to build bridges in a hyper-connected age. They are learning to appreciate cultural differences while celebrating their shared human and digital experiences. It's a complex, fascinating, and ultimately hopeful picture of our global future. What do you think? Have you been on an exchange, or have you noticed these trends? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for listening to Slow English Podcast today. I hope this gave you some interesting vocabulary and ideas to think about. Practice is key. So keep listening, keep learning, and keep engaging. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more content. It really helps a lot. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.